Couldn't agree more. It's about the Cougars. They're in the semifinal Monday.
Yeah, that was me.
The words of Sean Farnham. Welcome.
What is it not about the Cougars, though? Can I just do a question? I love the combine. It's great. But who really cares that an offensive lineman that's 300 pounds can vertical leap 37 inches? Like, that is a phenomenal feat. I love it.
It shows athleticism.
Correct. Yeah. But when will an offensive lineman ever do that in the course of a game?
I don't know. I hope they don't have to.
That's my whole thing. Or run a 40. If an offensive lineman is trucking to try to run a 40, I mean, that the play has gone terribly wrong.
They want to see somebody be able to chase down a fumble by the quarterback, perhaps?
Yeah, but if the DB gets it, you know that's not going to happen, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, the practicality of some of these things, yes. Or, like, when is Blake Freeland going to broad jump 10 feet?
You never know. He might have to clear out the second line in the linebacker and just thrust himself forward 10 feet.
Not only am I fast, I can jump at you.
But that is amazing. I mean, you think about 6'7", 302, able to do that, tremendous.
It's unbelievable. His high school
We're
basketball
test you
video.
Later, by the way.
Okay.
Yes.
He
ran the 40 a couple years ago. Yeah.
5.16 unofficial.
Wow.
As almost 40.
That's really slow.
Indeed, it is, Sean.
I love that you keep the unofficial, even though we have official.
Indeed, it no. The unofficial's better, Jarom.
You keep the unofficial until we give the official.
Come on, it's logic. The unofficial's a better time.
Just say 4-9 unofficial then.
Unofficially a 4-3-3.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. We have something for you.
What?
Okay, and I know it's.
We know you love Cougar Tales.
It's not the full Monty.
Yeah, but Harrison Collier, one of our producers, went out of his way to get you some maple bars, which is it's not a Cougar Tail, but it's a close thing.
I'm putting it on your desk. You guys are gonna have to clean this off later.
It's another hot spot.
If we put it together, it looks like it almost might be a Cougar Tail.
We need one more.
I mean, listen, you guys, everybody knows.
Yeah, the maple bars are the best. But
listen, this is not the Cougar Tail.
Is it as good as the Cougar Tail?
But it's our best. It's the firstlings of our flock.
You know what?
This morning.
I appreciate the effort. The effort is great. The effort is great. Not as good as the real thing, though.
Sure.
I'm very disappointed in Tyson Jack said he did not bring me one. Like,
BYU Sports Information.
Listen, I know that you can only get them at sporting events, but this is a sporting event, and this is the final WCC games that you guys will ever play.
Yeah.
We should have Cougar Tails.
Could we have worked out a stand somewhere in the Orleans
Arena? We should have. Oh, my gosh, how great would that have been?
Next year.
For profit, just, I mean, like, you guys can take it back with you to BYU, too. Like, I mean, it would be so good. They sell a lot of other things here.
Yes, they do. Some of which BYU fans don't consume. But yeah, exactly.
I've gone to the stand a couple times to get dinner, and I'm like, that doesn't look so good. I'm going to go back downstairs.
Well, Sean, we know that the Cougar Tail is an elite thing about BYU. For sure.
It's phenomenal.
We have established that. I think BYU fans are hoping that the same BYU team that played against Portland in the second half and against LMU for much of the game on Saturday shows up and can play their most elite game of the season, because it feels like it's going to take that to beat St. Mary's. How do you feel about the matchup?
I like this matchup for BYU. I mean, look back at both games. I mean, extremely tight. Obviously, the one in Provo that Aiden Mahaney hit the shot with 0.3 seconds left to go. I think the key, as it's been throughout the course of the season for BYU, is they're going to have to limit their turnovers. When you turn the ball over against St. Mary's, that just means you have to play longer at the defensive side of the ball. And I thought they did not a great job the other night, actually. They could have been up 20 at halftime had they not turned it over so much in the first half, especially when you look at the efficiency. I think they were shooting like 68% in the first half, maybe 64% by the time we got to halftime.
Wild number.
And LMU was just shooting under 40%. So defensively, BYU was doing what it wanted to do, but because they were allowing offensive rebounds and they had so many turnovers, they were actually getting outshot by LMU. That cannot happen against St. Mary's because of how efficient St. Mary's offense is. And if you give them extra possessions, they're going to make you pay. I think one of the biggest keys tonight, Foose, who struggled obviously huge, 7.7 turnovers in the game the other night. Now, a lot of those turnovers because they collapsed to him. So as soon as he caught the ball, everybody was coming in. He was fouled multiple times. They didn't call, in particular in the first half. But he's going to have to play really ultra-aggressive, and I would look for him to attack and establish himself early against Mitchell Saxon, because if you get Saxon out of the game, and we saw this up in Spokane when St. Mary's lost to Gonzaga, when Saxon went out of the game, their rebounding numbers dropped. The ability to attack from the perimeter and get inside the paint without a shot blocker, a true shot blocker, because Wessels is not a shot blocker.
Sure.
And does not show as well on ball screens. Now, all of a sudden, you create advantage. So as they collapse and shrink, what have we seen BYU do time and time again here in the last two games is get the defense to suck in and then immediately kick out to wide open shooters on the outside. And I think that's when you get a higher quality shot. and you get a more in-rhythm three-point shot, and we've seen that time and time again. I think that's going to be key tonight for BYU.
I'd like to think that St. Mary's is concerned because of the way the two games went. Yes, they won, but BYU was right there. And BYU's played 2 games and got the day off. And now BYU's had a day to prepare, and they're ready to go. Certainly, if BYU's going to do something crazy, you got to get through St. Mary's. Tonight's probably for the NIT for BYU. Maybe they're in. But if you get to tomorrow, you're 40 minutes away from March Madness, which is crazy. So, and we've seen each other throughout the week, but we've talked about the pressure is really on St. Mary's in this tournament. BYU is in an interesting spot where they could surprise some people and show up tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's any pressure on Mark Pope's team. And I would tell the team that if I was Mark Pope, I'd be like, guys, listen, they're worried about seed lines. They're worried about where Joe Lunardi has them. We're worried about playing basketball. All we have to do, nobody here thinks that we're going to win this game because we lost to them twice. Nobody here thinks we're going to win the WCC tournament, except for the people that are sitting inside this room right now. And we're capable of doing it, and we know we're capable of doing it. You know, should have beat Gonzaga at home. Should have won that game. Should have beat St. Mary's at home. Should have won that game. Could have won at St. Mary's, too. I mean, it was that good of a game. So when you look at college basketball this year, the separation and the margin has become a lot thinner. So we were talking about this last night, and you guys went to the Knights game. You had a great time at the hockey game, which was great. I'm glad you got out. We were going out to dinner, and we saw you guys, and I told you, it would not shock me if BYU won this thing. Like, just because of how just because of how college basketball has gone this year, you know, and in all the teams that I've covered from BYU that should have won a tournament championship, that should have won a conference tournament, that did not, right? What if this is the one that actually doesn't?
We brought that up and we're like, that's nuts, right?
You know,
like, it would make no sense.
It would make very little sense. But when you watch Rudy Williams play the way that he did the other night, like, why can't he do what Shabazz did against Santa Clara here on Saturday and put up massive numbers and take pressure off the interior? Spencer Johnson's defense the other night was sensational on Cam Shelton. Sensational. Not good. It was elite. And when you play free and you play with confidence, there's so much more you can accomplish out on the court. But when you're tight, and I think for a lot of the season, this BYU team's been tight. Why? Because of expectations. The brand of BYU basketball, what is expected as a BYU basketball team, and even Mark Pope had said this after, the trip to the Bay Area, that we came awfully close to not meeting the standard of how BYU is supposed to play. That's a lot to put on the shoulder of kids. Now, I'm not saying he was wrong by saying that, but we all know when you put on this uniform that it is a privilege, not a right. And you represent more than just your teammates. And I think that weighed on this team. Now they're at a point in time in the season where that weight is gone. You know, they understand who they're representing and who they're playing for, but that weight is gone. It's go out, do the best that you can be. The expectation level has dropped, obviously, throughout the course of the season because some of the losses that they've had. And they've put themselves in a position where you had to play on Friday to get to Saturday, to get to Monday. Well, now you're here on Monday. You're 80 minutes away from potentially going to the NCAA tournament. How free can you play? If it goes terribly wrong and you lose to St. Mary's tonight, no one's going to be like, oh, my gosh, you lost to St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a really good team that's really elite at the defensive end of the floor. But you have proven that you can have success against them. You know how to attack them. Now you just have to sustain it for 40 minutes.
ESPN Sean Farnham is on BYU Sports Nation. We call the X factor of BYU the Y factor for obvious reasons. Okay, so tonight, who is the guy that has to play well for BYU? Who's the Y factor that needs to step up?
But it can't be like the A factor guy.
How long is the drive from Provo to here?
When Spencer's driving, 4.5.
Okay.
5 hours.
Got plenty of time for the rock to get here because that rock section was really small the other night. And I've been in this building when the BYU fans create a home court environment. And I think that energy level, if the rock can show up tonight, if there's people that are the students that are there in Provo that are going, you know what, maybe we should drive down. Drive down. Get here. Support this team. Because if the environment is a home environment, we saw how the game went when it was in Provo. Give these guys the energy to feed off of that. And I think that would be extremely key tonight. That could be the true Y factor in this game. I think the biggest Y factor, obviously, is Foose has to play well. He embodies so much of what BYU truly is about, right? He's a great student with 3.8 GPA. You know, he's into service. He's into giving back. He got plans to continue to give back to his home country. You know, he plays with his heart on his shoulder and on his chest every single game out here on the floor. And the most remarkable thing, right? He's a devout Muslim. You know, and the identity of what it takes to feel included and to be part of the BYU family, I think, is evolving and changing before our eyes because of how hard he plays. And what that means for this team and this program could be huge as it moves forward to the Big 12. Because you have to look different, you have to play different, but you have to embody what it is to be a BYU student athlete and understanding the different levels of what it takes to be embraced and loved by this community. And I get people all the time. I think most of your fans like me for the most part. There's certainly some that because of my comments on the Haas Gonzaga game, they still want to hold it against me. But I genuinely love my time with you guys. Like it's 9 a.m. I'm here. Because I really respect you guys and I respect the program.
Want to be Cougar Tail.
No, this is not a Cougar Tail. But, I've enjoyed being able to be in Provo. I hope as your program shifts to the Big 12 that I'll still be able to get back there from time to time and call those games.
Yeah,
but awesome. It is a special environment with a special fan base, and it's been a special program, whether it was Coach Rose or Coach Pope. With so many of the great players and the great moments that I've been able to broadcast and cover, it's been a great pleasure of mine. I hope that tonight is not the last BYU WCC game that I get to call. Dave and I have talked about it coming in is it sad to see you guys leave because of what you brought to this conference? And I know from your fan base perspective, you will all say, well, we're leaving potentially without a championship, and that's not what we thought we were going to get when we came to the WCC, and I get that. But I think what you offered the WCC is you elevated everybody else. You elevated Santa Clara to wanting to compete. You elevated San Francisco to needing to compete, because all of a sudden teams are showing up and saying 19,000 people, major television games, watching you guys compete with Gonzaga and St. Mary's on a consistent basis. Now you had 3. Somebody wanted to be 4. Somebody wants to be 5. And now all of a sudden you've seen Santa Clara in back-to-back years have potentially first-round draft picks. And Pajemski's probably going to go from the first round this year if he decides to leave. But 23 wins for Herb Sendek's team, that's trending in the right direction. San Francisco obviously making their run to the NCAA tournament last year. And again, they're 80 minutes away from maybe going back to the NCAA tournament. I think their path is a little bit more difficult. But they could do it because Shabazz, we've seen guys come out here and put on great performances. Shabazz is certainly on one right now. But they had to step up to wanting to compete because otherwise they were going to be left so far behind. And when you first came in the conference, it was really the 3 of you and everybody else. So there's a huge gap. That gap has evolved and changed, and I think that when we look back on the era of BYU and the WCC, what we're going to see is how much you challenged and pushed other programs to commit to wanting to be good, wanting to compete, and seeing that there was a pathway to compete with the top teams in the WCC.
I'm officially putting in my request for Sean Farnham to do Big 12 games for BYU.
Don't tell Fran Fraschilla that.
Let's get you on the
Franny's going to be like, no, the Big 12 is my conference.
Yeah, get out of here.
Hey,
we
appreciate
awesome,
you.
Yeah.
No, look.
And we'll see you tomorrow for the championship game when BYU tennis.
There you go.
We're good, yeah.
Hey, by the way, if they make it, I'll come back.
Let's go.
I'll come back.
Okay.
I got nothing,
Sean.
Maybe on a Zoom, though. Maybe on a Zoom. I was going to do Zoom this morning, and then I heard there was a Cougar Tail, and I got 2 bad maple bars. All right, thanks,
Where
guys.
were they from, Harris? A gas station?
It's terrible.
Oh, it's from a donut shop.
He got them at terrible gas station.
It's from a donut shop.
It's
to Harrison's credit.
Look, Harrison, I appreciate the effort.
I'll take the one you
did,
did, bud. I'm hungry.
There you go.
Breakfast.
Oh, Sean, thanks so much.
No problem. Pop some Pringles, by the way.
You know me. You know
I cannot believe that you don't have like a Pringles sticker on like your the side of your arm.
Tattoo. It's actually underneath.
It's my snack. It's my snack of choice.
It's unbelievable. You guys are the best. Enjoy tonight. And Rock, get here.
Yeah, come on.
It's very snowy. I don't know if they're going to make it.
You can do it.
But
you can do it.
Don't give them an out clause.
Exactly. Don't give them an out. Come on down.
It's very dangerous to drive in that snow.
Come on down.
Watch